soul of the city.
What is going on, St. Louis City SC fans and MLS fanatics? Welcome back to another episode of Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media. As you can already tell, let me go ahead and close this because this is our first time ever doing a fully virtual podcast. Everybody is at their homes. If you weren't familiar with Soul of the City prior to this, we've always done in-house studio inside of somebody's house recording podcasts. And for the first time, we are online, which I think is going to be big for our brand. It's going to make it a lot easier for us to do podcast episodes. So I'm very excited that Jonah and Ian are able to join us here today. What is going on, fellas?
Not much going on.
This Ian guy definitely muted.
What's going on?
There you go. Yes.
There he is.
It wouldn't be a first episode without a little bit of shenanigans trying to figure out how this all works. But
Very true.
obviously, last night, St. Louis City took on FC Dallas at City Park on July the 27th. Played to I won't call it that convincing of a 2-1 victory. Definitely left some chances for Dallas in this one. Obviously, for the first time in the club's history, we saw I was going to say population. Why can't I think of the word?
Attendance.
The attendance for this.
The attendance.
The attendance for this game was short of around 80% capacity, and honestly, in some sections, it looked like it could have been less. No supporters groups, no music. It was a very different vibe.
Yeah, and it seemed like the players were very appreciative of the people that did come, because obviously, like, they got to play, so they're just happy that people showed up. Especially for, I'm a little sad that Hartel's debut had to be on the day that we're all kind of boycotting a tournament due to some higher powers than us trying to take the Open Cup out of existence, basically. But the boys showed up. We got a dub. It was the first look at kind of the all of the new signings. I think they all looked pretty good, basically. But yeah, it was weird not seeing full sections of stands. Empty seats were pretty apparent.
Yeah, you said it wasn't too convincing of a win, but we did go down early. Fought back, 2-1 win. This was our first 2 goals against Martin Pace. So I think Dallas is definitely one of our kryptonite teams. I would say, because I think the only time we beat them, their goalie got a red card, right?
Yep.
And it was at City Park. They got a red card in like the first 10 minutes. So yeah, I mean, great to see 2 of our new signings get a goal, come back 2-1. Obviously there were some times that our players didn't look like they're on the same wavelength, but what can you expect when they've been playing together for a week, or in Toigert's case, 3 weeks?
Definitely. I think this was, I felt like it wasn't that convincing, just in that Dallas also put up around 2 XG. And I felt like they had chances in this game that could have led to a draw. Obviously, like, this game was so interesting because of the manufactured hype that the club tried to put out around it. They did a pre-match walk in front of the gates at City Park and greeted fans as they came in, which we've never done before in the club's history. Jonah and I were at that event. It was pretty cool. You just know that if it was an Open Cup game and not a Leagues Cup game, that those barricades would have been almost pushed in with the amount of people who would have been at City Park to greet the boys as they walked in.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why it really sucks, because all these new signings are basically getting their kind of home debut and, putting the home kit on for the first time, and we didn't even sell it out, and it's not, their issue. It's just something that's going on higher up. In terms of lineup, did you guys see anything out of order? I mean, we started Hebert and Reed as the left side of the center back, like, defensive pairing. Parker and Totland on the right, as per usual. Durkin and Leuven playing the deep lying kind of defensive, deep lying playmaker roles. Hartel and Thorson out on the wings, Hartel on left wing, which I was honestly a bit surprised about. He does have some more positional versatility, but I thought Toucaire would have started out on the left and then Hartel through the middle because that's where he mostly operated for FC Pali. And then Simon Becher was a breath of fresh air up top. I don't know who stood out for you guys the most, but
yeah. So I mean, I think our whole front four had a pretty great game, all things considered. Obviously, it wasn't the most ideal situations, like you said, with the crowd and supporter groups not being there. But Teukert goal, he looked like he had some really good link up play. Simon Becher, I mean, talk about like just a workhorse. Like he seems like he fit right into St. Louis City, like our pressing style. He made a bunch of very unselfish runs. I thought that like Teukert had two chances that he could have passed off to Simon Becher, and it probably would have been an uncontested shot, but he chose to be greedy. Hartel, I think he had the most touches out of any of the other front four, but some of them, just not knowing where his teammates were going to run, like you said, some cohesion issues, but really, I think everyone played really well. Nokvi was a little weird on the right side. He got an assist, but I feel like I like him up top now, which seems like such a turnaround from past weeks.
Definitely. We while we were down at City Park for this event, we met somebody with a Thorson jersey, and he was the biggest Thorson stan, which I felt like was an incredibly surprising player to choose as your number one best player on the team. But yeah, definitely the offense came through last night, which we haven't really seen all season. Battled back. I'm in love with Hartel and Jay Reed on the same side of the ball, and dude, I'm so excited for what's to come. I think the game last night was impressive, and it goes to show how much further I think the team can go once there is that cohesion level. I think we're going to be cooking, and I think Lutz Pfannenstiel is going to be patting himself on the back in approximately a year and a half.
One can only hope. I mean, you could see it even with the kind of, I guess, red chem links between all of the attack, that there was still just a generally higher level of quality throughout the entire front four or five, if you want to count Leuven as someone that's kind of playing further forward. The kind of intricate passing that they were trying to do outside of the box to try and break down some of the lines. I think Leuven had a pretty good chance on goal between him and Toucaire, just kind of like passing it back and forth, and he ended up missing the opportunity. But that's something that we haven't really seen too much of. It's usually just been hoof it in and across, or Becher can stay on side, and that's something I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, his penalty that he drew in this game was definitely close, but that was a very well timed run by him.
Yeah, and I don't know if I love that being a penalty for like the future of the game, but I also don't love the Jay Reed penalty call, so I think it all just came back around, and thank God Musa put that one 50 feet over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in addition to that missed penalty from Musa, he had a couple really good chances that he missed. Like there was the one, like I think it was like the 83rd minute or something, where there was just a ball played in over the top, in between Hebert and Parker, and Musa just like settled it right on the penalty spot and shoots it one time, and it just like rolls to Berkey.
We lucked out with a Musa disaster class performance because he honestly was feasting in MLS
really
play
dangerous
prior to this.
Yeah. Someone else who looked dangerous was Paul Arriola, who I unfortunately despise. But I mean, yeah, he was just, his passes all night were very deadly, very incisive. He had that long ball in behind that led to Junka's goal, which Totland unfortunately was just left stranded on defense.
Yeah, he was totally burnt.
That was, I think, 3 one-touch passes. Like, they blasted it up to Musa, who one-touched it out of the air, to Areola, who like settled it and just looked up and played a beautiful through ball to
Dime ball.
Juma. Yeah, it was that was a really nice goal.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I saw that and was just like, well, what can you do? Like, our defense isn't very good, but even if Tottenham's, in the right position, I don't know if we stop that from happening.
And we know via Twitter that Lutz Pfannenstiel is planning on revamping the back line. I have a strong inclination that Tim Parker is probably not going to get any kind of contract extension. I bet we're going to let Tim Parker walk this winter. And I have a feeling that Lutz is going to pull somebody else in. If you think about all the moves that we have coming up, it's kind of crazy how like we feel like the club is different now in Leagues Cup, and I feel like come the start of next season, the team is going to just look even further from anything that we've seen so far.
I have a question for you guys. So, ignoring our defensive issues right now, we still have Celio, Ostrak, and Alm who are injured, plus Klaus. What do you guys think once all these guys are healthy? What is our best, midfield and attack formation and lineup?
I think it might be a little bit early to make the call on who's going to start at striker, Betcher or Klaus, but I wouldn't be surprised if Klaus would slide out to the right and play there, just because I know he seems kind of like the golden boy for the club. Like, Lutz brought him in and he's going to play if he's healthy, kind of thing. So I think probably that would be the only change, because if Hartel's playing that left wing, I don't know if we're dropping him for Celio. Maybe he moves into the middle and Tuchert goes to the bench as kind of a late game option to go anywhere across that front line, and Celio comes in, because I do want to see him play. But I don't know, it's tough, because I did like what I saw from Betcher a lot.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that you are rating Betcher that highly and are saying that you don't like once Klaus comes back healthy, you don't know who's gonna strike. But because for me, it's like once Klaus gets back, it could be 4-2-3-1, and we just swap out Betcher for Klaus, and that's like our top tier number one. And maybe we play Indy at right wing over Thor. I've seen mixed reviews on Indy versus Thor. But for me, I think Klaus, once he's healthy, just walks right back in, and he's not going to have to go out and do all of his own chance creation like he's felt like he's had to do all season. Like, Hartel is going to be able to feed him, I think, and I think he's going to be able to feast.
I think we just saw so much off the ball running and pressure, as well as the runs in behind that Betcher was making. It could have been a product of Leuven finally playing in the position that he feels the most comfortable in, kind of that deep lying role. But it seemed like every time we got the ball back, we were looking to hoof it over, and Betcher was actually making a run that made that kind of possible.
Yeah.
I mean, he draws the penalty for the second goal, and there were countless other occasions where he was making unselfish play, like inside or outside of the box, kind of created that second goal.
And he was causing a ton of chaos, like just counter pressing, immediately switching it back on. And we were able to retain possession in Dallas's third pretty often because of the consistent pressure. I agree. I think he was impressive and probably did more last night than I expected him to be able to do. So I could definitely see it. He took the number 11, formerly Nico Gioacchini, and I felt like he was showing shades of Nico last night, which I think was brilliant to see. I think the club is in such a great direction now. Obviously, I'm not going to be a one-game Andy and say that we're totally and completely back, but it feels good. It feels like we're taking steps in the right direction, and I'm fucking pumped.
Yeah, I would say it seems interesting to me that JGR hasn't really played that much. Like, he subbed in last 5 minutes of the past couple games. And I wonder if that's just like they don't want to disrupt the defense too much. Like, might as well use Tim Parker as much as we can while we have him. But I mean, I guess I think he's kind of regarded as like the long-term center back solution, maybe with Michael Wenzel And it seems like maybe we should be playing them more, especially if our defense isn't looking very great.
Yeah, I think that's the only major gripe that I have with this lineup is that Hebert he's not a bad player, and his flaws are very well known. And at center back in this game, he looked pretty serviceable. Like he's
I
good in the
agree.
air, and he's not totally positionally inept to where him and Tim get it mixed up and we get scored on like Tim and Nielsen sometimes do. But like the football tackle he had to make in like the 70th minute or something like that just kind of shows you where we're at with him. And
and
I
then
think
Tim Parker gets a yellow card within the same minute, and then both of our center backs are on yellow cards. I
yeah,
thought for sure Hackworth was subbing off one of them because that freaks me the hell out, especially after watching Kyle Hebert's tackle. I was like,
Especially with someone like Peter Musa up top,
someone who you're going to
battling
have to be
them.
physical with, yeah.
well, as much as we may regard Girdwood Reich as the kind of long-term center back option, it seems like the team thinks. I mean, every substitute appearance he's had has been at the CDM kind
True.
of deep
True.
lying playmaking role, which apparently now is probably our deepest position with Leuven, Durkin, Blom, and then adding Girdwood Reich. Like that's a we
And
haven't seen
Ostrak.
enough of him. And Ostrak, yeah. We've got a surplus of players that can play there and need more people to play down the middle of the defense. So I don't know. I think Hebert would be good as a long-term kind of bench third, fourth center back off the roster option, but I just get a little bit scared when he starts because he goes in for some tackles that are
Questionable to say the
questionable.
least. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
it's true also that Parker has the long ball specialty trait, and Kyle Hebert is more of a side pass or back pass kind of a guy.
Yeah. Dude,
Um,
I love that Tim Parker always wears his black Adidas cleats that are a testament to the black Air Force Ones because that's absolutely the energy that he brings to every single match.
Yeah,
Big
for sure.
fan.
I always feel like he plays better when he's not necessarily bringing that black Air Force One energy. I feel like whenever he's really like running into people and taking people out, that's when he's just like angry with the team and he's trying to kind of garner some energy, or he's not playing that well and he's trying to like hype himself up a bit. When he plays a little like calmer, I feel much happier with his play. But I thought he was good in that Kansas City game, and I mean, he was fine last night. I don't think there was anything to write home about, but that's all we really need out of him.
Yeah. Jonah brought up an interesting point last night about the bench and how the bench has looked so different than what we've seen all season. Something where we can actually look to the bench and say, oh, there are some players here who could make an impact versus what we've seen for a lot of the season, which is like a lot of City 2 guys, very unproven and just like random, like Jake Nervinsky be on the bench. And
we
that
need a
is
body on the field now.
there was a hilarious tweet that
Give me
I
something
saw.
that breathes.
It was every MLS team has that one white guy with no technical ability who just runs hard. And somebody from St. Louis was like, it was the Jake Nervinsky, what does he even do? And that's just classic. I'm
Dude, I
excited
feel
for
like
that slot to open up this winter.
speaking of that player, we got to look into the Jared Stroud theory and look about getting him back on the squad. Because look, last year Jared Stroud's on the team. Where do we end up? First place. Jared Stroud goes to LA Galaxy. Where are they at?
DC United.
What?
Jared Stroud's at DC.
No, he's not.
Yeah,
Is he
Yeah,
really?
he's
Yes.
Oh, okay.
definitely.
Remember we
tripping.
traded we traded him and
Yeah, I'm
Bartlett for
tripping.
Durkin.
That's
You're
right.
thinking of John Nelson, who is with the LA Galaxy.
Oh, you're right. Well, never mind, not him. But
Honestly,
Well, actually,
you
he
almost
went to.
cooked.
Didn't he go to Cincinnati first, John Nelson? Wait,
you
No,
throwing
I
out
had to give one of those to Ian for that take.
Thanks. Well, I think Durkin's our run hard kind of guy.
Yeah.
He actually starts for us, and really, when I watch him with the ball, I'm like, dude, just give it to somebody else.
Dude, if you
Don't
watch Jared
translate the
Stroud
ball.
play, if you watch him play for DC, like his entire mantra is just whip balls into Christian Benteke. Like that is the number one thing that he's good for. And I guess standing on the edge of the box for a corner kick. Because bro did in fact
Scored a
score a banger.
banger.
Yeah.
Something I never thought he would be capable of.
Listen, if we take everything that has come out of our recent transfer window and the one before it, if we take them all together, I will take Jared Stroud leaving for DC United for what we have now. Absolutely. Hands down, no questions asked. We got players now that are a lot larger.
Yeah, but if it would have cured some of my depression from this season, I would have kept him on the squad.
That's fair.
Because we have been woeful until now. But it sucks that the KC game was basically the nail in the coffin statistically of us being no longer capable of making the MLS playoffs. You never know. You never know. Might turn it around.
I have a center back pairing idea that me and Jonah talked about last night. Which the center back pairing is we bring in Tim Ream, number 1. Okay, step 1, Tim Ream inbound. Step 2, sign Tafari from FC Dallas. And that way we have our pacey center back who can get up for headers in Tafari, and then we have the technical god, the decision-making prince, Tim Ream from St. Louis. Bring him home. Jonah, what was your take?
The St. Louisan Thiago Silva.
Yes.
Tim Ream.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's been balling for a long time in Europe. Like he's got the experience and the quality to come back and kind of, I'm sure, do a job for us. Like he would be good in this league, I think.
He'd be a leader as well, especially if we're going to lose Tim Parker, like leader in the locker room, super familiar with St. Louis as it is. And like, I mean, we probably would only be able to get like a year of good juice out of him because bro is going to be 39, and that's fucking insane to bring in a player. But maybe his Europe retirement is more about just coming home and spending time with his family, and he doesn't need a whole lot of salary to come back to St. Louis. It could work out really well if he wants to come play for us. And that's my I think that'd be a cool center back duo.
And the FC Dallas guy that he's talking about, Tafari, he had 2 headers from corner kicks yesterday. One hit the crossbar, and the other one he leaped like 5 feet over the closest defender and powered a header, over the crossbar. But he's just a very athletic guy. Yeah,
yes,
very athletic.
Yeah, I don't think he's bad. I'm just.
If we want to stay in the MLS, yeah,
I would be surprised if we went for Tafari.
It's okay. Let's
gone for a player of that profile.
Let's follow us back on Twitter today. So, hey, maybe he's going to listen to this episode and look into it. I don't think it'd be
listening, bro. He's just ducking. That's what he's doing. He's ducking smoke. We've been telling him to make these moves, and he finally does it.
When does the transfer window actually close?
I want to say it's like a week after Leagues Cup wraps up or something. I think we've got like 3 or 4 weeks of open transfers. Ian, get on that.
August 14th.
I'm already on it. Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's like 2 or 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. Dang. So we actually do have a good amount of time to bring in some more transfers.
Mm-hmm. And now's the time for the European people because they're off season right now. So the moves, if we're looking to Europe, are going to be now. Let me look it up.
Do you guys think we should be looking for a left back long term during this window? Because Dewar didn't work out. Marcanic seems to be very much so out of favor with Hackworth, which I don't know if that's, Hackworth's not going to be around forever, but I don't know if Reed is really the answer. He seems a little defensively, not all there, but he also gets up the field like really well, I think. I know you said you really like Hartel and Reed on the same side of the field, but I feel like if there's one area in the squad to upgrade other than center back, I feel like it's there.
Mhm. Yeah, for me, I am a fan of Jay Reed because he is a young player from the academy, and I agree with you that he has shown some defensive liability from time to time. I don't know if you want to call it like a lack of hustle, or maybe he's not as fast as we think he is, but sometimes tracking back on defense, yeah, there's definitely I see some issues, but I feel like getting forward, he put in a delicious delivery that was laid off by Hartel to him in this game, and I think getting forward, he offers a lot, and I think that's what makes me excited about Hartel and him on one side is that I think the overlapping runs and just I think if they could build on their chemistry, I have a feeling that that would be St. Louis like a very strong wing for St. Louis.
Yeah, I feel like he's very good with the ball all around. Like he can like dribble past players and stuff too over on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
Plus his passing. I think he's also very tall and fairly fast, I'd say. Obviously maybe not the fastest on the team, but I feel like his positioning and like defensive awareness, like he could probably, learn from our other defenders and improve that over time. He's only 22, I think.
I got you.
So I mean, I don't know. I feel like I like him. I think Marcanic as a backup option is like fairly good. Like I'd rather have Marcanic the left back than Jake Nerwinski right back. But I guess we
Yeah,
also have Akil Watts who can play right back. So I guess it kind of depends. And Hebert, I guess, if you want to put him
I
there.
don't I don't want to classify Hebert as a
Yeah,
outside back in any
Yeah.
way.
That was
I don't
that was
really
a
know.
that was Carnell decision making, and we are moving past that.
Yeah.
I feel like some of that was born from necessity. Like we
Yeah.
really didn't have any players there. Like Dewar didn't work out. He got sent back home real quick. Marcanic and Nerwinski, I don't know, man. It was rough there for a while, and could
I,
still be. This could be a fluke. Let's not get too high on our own supply here, because
it's true, and we take
we could
on
Juarez.
Juarez next, who are also pretty criminally bad. But I
Yeah, but I
mean,
think that the level of the Liga MX is a lot higher. So their criminally bad versus our criminally bad might not be the
yeah, and I
exact
mean,
same.
St. Louis has been criminally bad this season, but I expect
Yes.
us to kind of walk on Juarez. But it's not like it
Okay.
even fucking matters because, like, I think it's crazy. I wonder if the supporters groups will continue to protest if we make it out of the group stage because, like,
If we run deep in this tournament and like our fans aren't showing up,
yeah,
that
it's
would
like
be
we kind of need to be there. No, like, I don't
And
know.
also, I found out yesterday that every game we play, we get an extra like 200,000, and if we win, we get another 50,000 on top.
It's just
And like,
crazy that we're like milking the Liga MX teams for money. Because like if you
yeah.
if U.S. Soccer was able to invest that money on their own, the Open Cup would be an incredible tournament that like proceeds directly to all of the lower division sides, and I think that is far more rewarding for U.S. Soccer than just splitting it with Liga MX. But nobody from MLS is ever gonna fucking listen to us on this position. They're just gonna do their own shit.
Yeah, it's because I exist solely to increase profit margins, man. We're not looking to expand the game.
Yep, not a club, but a franchise. I do think
Yeah,
it's just crazy because St. Louis would have sold out every single Open Cup game, regardless of who we were playing.
for sure.
Every game would have been sold out, and the crowd would have been incredible. I do want to say that Tim Ream, he's not going to be 29; he's going to be 27, and this is his final year. His final
37.
his contract.
37.
What did I say? 27, 37.
Mhm.
His contract will be up at the end of 2024. So I think 24-25 season.
Can you see how much he's making?
Yeah, he makes 1.5 mil annually,
Oh, that's like
which that's
what
close to
Berkey's on,
that's like
isn't it?
Berkey. Yeah, I think Berkey's like 1.3 or something.
We can
But
afford it.
the only thing, like, we only have, I think we can only buy down Hartel now.
No, I don't think we can buy down Hartel.
because we
I think
bought
it's either
down Leuven.
bought
I think we can buy down Leuven now because we bought down Berkey to
Yeah.
bring in Hartel as a DP. So we could still
Okay.
buy down Leuven and bring in another DP. But now Klaus and Hartel are both cannot be converted. With
I
TAM.
accept.
Thanks.
Allocation money.
Thanks.
Targeted
MLS.
allocation money.
Targeted. Thank you.
Yeah,
Idiots.
don't you have your MLS finances degree, bro? Come on. I thought we went to school for this.
No, I took one accounting class. It was ass.
That's fair, honestly. I probably can't argue with it. Did you get to play Monopoly?
I did. She was a good teacher. You had her. We both took the same class. You were like,
I
"You're gonna have
remember her.
fun," and I was like, "I don't think I'm gonna have fun."
Yeah, you
but-
just play. It's like accounting, but fun.
yeah, QuickBooks.
whatever.
Welcome to hell.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, how do you guys feel about Hartel? First of all, taking the penalty. I kind of figured that was gonna happen, but I didn't know if it was, "Hey, it's your debut," or "Hey, this is your job now."
Mm-hmm.
I saw a tweet that said it was a clip from an interview with Hartel, and he was like, "Yeah, me and Edouard discussed it, and I was very thankful that he let me take it," or something like that.
About the penalty in this game or penalties in general? Okay,
About that game, it was like post-match.
gotcha. Well, I would not be surprised if he's the penalty taker from here on out.
That penalty freaked me out. Really, because he did
bro.
not fully place it bottom corner, and his run up was so long. Like he stood there for like 15, 20 seconds and just like watched pause.
He
And then-
no-looked pause.
Yeah,
he
he
was
did.
looking on the left side.
I did
and
see that.
Put it in the corner on the right. Yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah.
he watching? He did the run up where he doesn't even look down at the ball when he's striking it. He just watches the goalie the whole time and the goal.
Yep.
That was impressive, I will say. It just like Paz low key was kind of close on it, is the only thing. But
Yeah,
Hey,
I
he
also
converted.
did not love the penalty. I say pick a side and hit it hard.
Blast it, merchants in the fucking FTM group chat.
No, I'm not saying hit it full power, but I'm just saying hit it hard, pick a side, hit it close to the post,
I gotcha.
and don't give the goalie a chance to fucking save a ball rolling on the ground at 5 miles an hour.
yeah.
So if that's your guys' stance, would you rather have that boy Edward Leuven taking the pens, or because I would rather have Hartel?
I'm fine with Leuven taking it. I think he does a good job, even though he missed that one a couple weeks
He's missed
ago.
one of
Yeah.
6 or 7 that he's taken. It's a good conversion rate.
But also, since Hartel is the highest paid player now, he just can do whatever he wants. That's my other.
I do not care either of them. I'm fine with taking the PKs. Just not Klaus. Once Klaus is back, sorry, bro, you're not taking PKs.
Definitely not. I think the player that I thought looked the best on the field was Leuven. Like he seemed in his element, being able to kind of just pick his head up and play long balls. He played 8 long balls during this game, was 50% on those, and then also had an 86% pass accuracy. So I mean, he played 64 total passes, and 4 of those were missed long balls. So
I thought it was really interesting that Hartel had the most touches of our starting front 4, and Nokvi had the least, even though Nokvi played all 90 minutes. And I think it is honestly because Leuven is on the left and Durkin is on the right. I think Durkin, play does not really flow through him very well.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes Durkin, I think, gets a little too ahead of himself, and he's like, "Oh shit, I can be Leuven too," and tries to play a long ball, and it's like, bro, you cannot do what this man does.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Leuven can't run 6 miles in a game.
Leuven also looked a little more on top of certain free kicks. Like you could tell that he was trying to orchestrate play a little bit and call people out and for them to make runs, which I thought was interesting, something that we hadn't really seen very often. And I told Jonah this, but there's a couple times where players like Durkin was one where Durkin tried to play a long ball, kind of over the top to either Jay Reed or Hartel, and you could see Hartel go like this to Durkin, was like knock that shit off. Like right away, he fucking went like that. Like, don't do that again. So
funny.
I'm fucking with it. I'm so excited for Marcel Hartel. I think bro is going to be a stud.
I think it's just so refreshing having like multiple points of attack. Like when we had the ball and we had possession, it looked like we actually had like a plan of attack, and like we could actually work the ball closer to the goal and get into a scoring chance. And so I feel like whenever Klaus comes back, hopefully that will translate and improve his game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, right now, I think St. Louis City just needs to use this Leagues Cup experience to fucking wind up. See if we can't grind out the rest of the season, maybe win every game and just say, fuck it. Let's try to make the playoffs. And yeah, just use Leagues Cup as a diving board of sorts. Launch pad, yeah. And get us going in MLS play. Because honestly, at this point, I think we said it in the last MLS wrap up that the season might be chalked here, and it's really looking rough. Just mathematically, it's looking difficult. So,
well, that's why I think if anything, we just go for the Leagues Cup win. I mean, that equals us with Messi. So I would definitely rather win Leagues Cup, get a trophy under the belt that we can actually like talk shit with to all of our rival clubs.
I think we would get cooked.
Ian, I asked this to Riley yesterday, but if Messi and Inter Miami had won the Open Cup last year instead of the Leagues Cup, do you think that they would have pulled MLS teams from the Open Cup?
No. Because they wouldn't have.
Because
Messi won it.
Yeah.
They definitely
Messi won it.
Have.
We need to give it as much credit as we possibly can.
Dude,
yeah, I think they still maybe might have, but I don't know. It's just definitely like there's a lot of money invested in the Leagues Cup. Like you know, make shareholders and owners happy, so they're just shoving it down our throats at this point. But it might have changed if Messi won it. I think it would have, but I don't know. I'd like to win it because at least we'd have a trophy.
Yeah,
we'd have
something to go in the cabinet.
Yep.
Get some racks together too for the team, because it's not looking like we're going to have very many players right now who are going to break any transfer records, especially now that AZ and Sam are both gone already and didn't quite garner the top dollar that I bet we would have hoped for them. And I don't see anybody in the pipeline, at least in the near term pipeline, who's going to get us any kind of return. So definitely need funds, because every team needs funds to be successful. So yeah. I guess if we keep going in Leagues Cup, are we gonna go to the game? Are we gonna? I don't know, man.
I don't know. I'd like to say that I will. If we make it out of the group, I'd probably go to the whatever the next game is, whoever we're playing. If it's a home.
Oh, I brought this up to Jonah. If you were like a brand new supporter group and you wanted to try to get in, like at the top floor, do you go to the Leagues Cup games and you start your own chants and you do your own culture thing and see if you can't sway the people?
Hey,
because
man, we didn't do the toasted ravioli chant. We won. That's all I gotta say.
Maybe the players are scared of the supporter groups. Maybe the drums are too loud.
Maybe they should be.
Obviously, brand new goal scorers. I'm never gonna sit here and say there's a correlation between no supporters groups and us winning.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll cheer for the toasted raviolis if I have to.
Yeah. I mean, this is a boycotted game, and we're only 4K under our capacity. I don't think
it's true.
This isn't really breaking the bank for the owners, I don't think.
Nope. No shot. Well, cool. Well, do you guys have any other topics you want to talk about? Obviously, we might do another episode after the next Leagues Cup game. Do you guys have anything you'd like to say to the great American people, or if you're from overseas, you as well? No?
Nope.
Okay. I mean, that works for me.
Yeah, I was just saying, please subscribe, comment.
Subscribe. welcome to the new format. Obviously, we'll have some more stuff cooking on this front. There's like cool sounds that we can do for when we do nice stuff, like for this outro. We can give you
I
one
don't
of
think we
those.
should use that anymore.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So
Thank
welcome to a new era of First Touch Media. If you like this episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Peace out.
Thank you for watching this episode of Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media and Anchor FM. Make sure to check us out on YouTube at First Touch Media, and all of our socials are at First Touch 314. Thank you for watching.